if I find that one, hopefully stand by, it says. Now we wait until it starts and we can find some chat.
Yes. Have you got the chat open? I haven't got it open, so.
I'll try and find it in a moment.
I put a thing on my page saying that you can watch it through the eModels site, but if you want to get into the chat, press the little YouTube thing at the bottom.
Right.
It's my YouTube channel.
Right. It should tell us, we should get an email shortly to tell us that we've gone live.
I never get emails from anybody, because never.
It tells us that we are live, so we must be somebody watching us.
Oh,
right.
If they're all watching through the eModels website, they won't be able to comment there. Let's have a look, shall we?
Right. So,
I was just about to ask them the dumbest question in the world, and what's the address for YouTube? I can't believe I was about to ask that.
It says the health is good, the stream is good, but I can't see anybody that's watching us yet, live streaming.
Let's have a look.
It says we're still back offline. We're offline.
A few moments to join us.
Yeah, it says the stream is still offline.
It does on eModels UK on the YouTube channel. Let me go to, here we go. UK/live. Let's go to emodels.co.uk/live, which is the corrected, which is the website-based address. Make sure it's actually live on there.
If you are watching us, people, if there's anybody out there and you are watching us, we always seem to have this trouble. Until we get it sorted out, please bear with us.
Yeah, if you go to emodels.co.uk/live, for some reason it goes to eModels, just the homepage. So you have to retype /live in again. And then
yeah, I put that up on the Boomhut page. I changed the link.
Just make sure it's actually live on there. No, it hasn't started yet. Hello.
Right, why won't it start?
Where are you? You are signed into the right account. It is going somewhere.
I know why. It's because it's set to private.
Ah, fantabulous.
Right. Now we should go public. Publish. Right, we should start streaming now. Are we live streaming? Stream now?
I'm on the YouTube page, not on the website page. We really do need to practice this a bit more, don't we?
Oh, God.
Right, well, eModels UK/live, that's not showing us online. On YouTube itself.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. If you go to the eModels website, it always defaults back. Models.co.uk/live. It just goes to the main front page. So you have to do /live again. Live.
Tell you what, should I start another live stream and just put it straight?
Yeah, it says the live stream hasn't started yet, but it also says it's streaming now.
I'll stop this hangout and start another one.
Well, it seems to be. Hang on, I think it's working. It's just.
We've got one viewer.
Yeah, it is. It is working. I just think it's the interface on eModels that seems to be not working. Hang on.
Right, I found it. I found the Orc Boys. Yeah, I found it. We appear to be live. Alan Kelly's just joined us, and Orc Boys are in.
Have you? Where are you looking then? I'm obviously looking in the wrong place completely. Where are you, Ted? Where are you?
Right, I am at youtube.com/watch.
/watch. Hey.
Right.
Watch.
Well, people are seeming to find us. We've got 10 people in, and hello to everybody.
Okay, well, let's crack on then anyway. Never mind.
Carl says the bad link is on eModels. We must discuss this and find out what's happening. because this is the second week it's happened. But we seem to be up and running, so sorry for the delay. We have these technical issues because we're spesh, as Fox says. Spesh.
Well, spesh.
Yeah, I suppose I'd better do my BBC introductions. And now, live on eModels, is your guests for this evening is Ted, me, and Fox Wolf.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back again. Welcome to another live stream from eModels, which, as you can see, right from the start, is in total disarray.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I think it's the me effect. I think it's the effect I have. It works fine when you're on your own. It's when you involve me, it all goes to lob, basically.
Orc Boys says it's his birthday today. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
can you
boys.
have an e-model sticker for the man cave? I'm sure we could sort it out for you. Just send me your details to ted@emodels.co.uk and I'll sort one out.
Yeah.
We'll sort something out. Happy birthday.
Did he bring cake? That's the question. Did he bring cake?
Yes.
And where is it?
Need to bring cake. Dare we ask how many years old or how many years modelling? Put it that way. Yeah, we can be delicate. How many years modelling? I don't have cake, but I do have whistling of packets and things like this. I do have.
I can see this coming.
Boom hot brew.
Street waffles.
With street waffle holder.
I don't have any street waffles.
I'll send you one. I've got a packet. Do you want a packet of street waffles?
Where did you get the little street waffle holder from that stops it falling in your brew?
I found it at Tesco's. They were in a packet with special street waffle holder. And after I'd left a street waffle on my cup, came back to it, and it totally disappeared. I thought Skylar had eaten it, but no, it was sunk in the bottom of my cup. Right.
Did you go a bit droopy and sink?
Yes, they do. The Orc Boys is 48 years old, he says. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday very much. I'll be there very soon.
We'll meet you around the back of the bike sheds to give you the bumps later on.
Steady now.
Anyway, welcome. This is TK's with us. Hello.
Hello, TK.
Yeah, he said he's getting echo from somewhere.
It could be me. Let me turn me down. Do. Is that...
Hello.
Is that better?
Hello. Is that better? Right. We'll see. We'll march on and we'll sort out all the technical problems as we go. Right. What we're going to do tonight? Well, once again, I haven't got a clue. We shall just take it as
like a well-oiled machine, just without the oiled or the machine part or the valve part.
Yeah. So we'll have a look at what we've been doing this week, what you guys have been doing this week as well. We'll take a few questions. I haven't actually got a stupid question this week, unless any of you guys could come up with one. So if you have a silly non-model related question, just type them in. Right. I do have a few questions. So do you have any questions at your end this week, Fox?
Let me have a quick look on the Facebooks, because I did put a thing out earlier on. Did I get any questions? If not on the Facebooks from earlier on, then I'll say no.
Yeah, I think I've got one or two that came through on email to eModels.
Oh, jolly good.
What I usually try and do is answer them sort of. I mail back the person that's asking the question, just in case they're not joining us for the live stream. But I'll attempt to answer them as well on the live stream.
No questions from me.
Right. Anyway, so what have we been doing this week? What have you been doing this week, Fox?
This week just gone. Two things. I've been working on transit van for eModels. Look at him eating a street waffle. Oh, you can't see that because I'm talking, but he's wolfing down that street waffle on my big telly here. I've been working on my transit van. So as you can see, this is looking, last time you saw it on this stream, it was all black and primed. Now it's looking nice and super rusty. Hopefully that's in focus. I don't know if the autofocus will do the honour. And it was dead simple, that technique. I showed it on the last video, the last build video. But it was literally just big fat brush, stippling it on, and 3 different shades of the same brown, basically. Added a little bit of red.
I have to hold my hand up here, teacher. I haven't actually had a chance to watch the video yet. But I will stay behind after school this afternoon and watch.
But everybody was like, "Oh wow!" Because what I did was I said in various places, I said, "Here's what," I showed a photograph of this and said, "Here's what it looks like," and everybody went, "Oh no, I have to watch it now to find out how you did it." And I'm sat there thinking, "Yeah, it took me 5 minutes with a stipply brush." I'll show you the brush I used. It was this ancient, old, horrible, stiff, cheap brush from Simply Brushes. I don't even know who Simply Brushes are, but it's just an old cheap brush, and I just literally went like that for like 5 minutes. I started off with what colour was it? One of the, I think it was just Shadow Rust. I can't remember now. MIG Shadow Rust, or it could have been red brown base, and just added a little bit of yellow to lighten it, and then a little bit of red to kind of lighten it a bit more and get that mustard tone. And that was it. 3 layers, 5 minutes, all done. So that's as far as I've got with that. Other than that, I've been working on the decals for my Perfect Grade Zaku, which you can see all here. So I might get some of those done tonight. It's the point of putting all the decals, all the fiddly decals that refuse to go around corners when they're supposed to and things like that. But other than that, no, it's not been the most busiest of weeks this week. I've actually kind of given up the cigarettes for the last 3 or 4 days, so I've been a bit sidetracked and not in the best position to do small fiddly things. So yes.
Ah, right. Yeah, and a huge pair of legs appear to have appeared on the bench.
Yes, that's my Zaku legs.
Zaku.
That's from my
Zaku.
160 scale Zaku. This is what you can see spread around here. My Perfect Grade Zaku. That, as I say, I'm in the process of putting the decals on that.
I think we've lost your Fox. Oh, there we are.
Have you? Have you got me back?
Yep, there you are.
I mean, who can not love a face like that? How can you not love a face like that? It's not only a face that a mother can love. But yeah, as I say, I've been the last few days I've just been kind of not doing too much because with the kicking the cigarette habit, I've been a little bit so didn't want to do anything small and fiddly for the last few
yeah,
days.
well, as Oak Boy says, we tend to spend most of our time on Facebook lately because somebody started a new page.
Yeah, somebody did that. I don't know who that was.
Yeah, we thought it was a good idea at the time.
Yeah, then we suffered the consequences.
Welcome to Ant. Ant's just joined us from Bashing Kits. Welcome, Ant.
Ant, he of the really big and the really tiny models.
Yeah, and he does some superb photographs. We must ask him to produce a video sometime to show us how he produces those fantastic photographs.
Yeah, you know what he'll do? He'll probably have some really simple method, like I just point my phone and press a button.
Yeah, I've got this camera.
He's got some really complex method. It's always the way.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, it's usually the easy way is the best. Right, my turn. What have I been doing? Well, eating stroop waffles.
Oh, stop with the street waffles now. I haven't got any.
Right, I've finished you saw that last week. You finished the first part of the torpedo room. I've actually found out what all these bits are as well now. This is an anchor winch, believe it or not. I mentioned in the video, if you've seen the video, I didn't know what these bits were. But I've been speaking to people more knowledgeable than I. That's an anchor winch. And this sticky thing under here, what I thought was something to do with loading torpedoes, it's actually the bow plane rod. It works the bow planes that makes the front of the submarine go up and down. So that was finished.
And looking very good, that, Ted. It's looking very, very good.
It's a cracking model, yeah.
It's looking enormous.
It's huge. So I've then started now this week, and I've moved on. If I turn it around, you can probably see it a little bit more. This is the I think, hang on, what do trumpeter call it? I think they call it the front soldier living room.
Die Lebensraum, ja, das ist richtig.
That's probably a Japanese literal translation for you, but it's the officers' quarters and the sonar, the radar and wireless room. That's these two little spots here. So there's lots of little bits and pieces to go in here. The reason that I've put it together like that is so I know what colours to paint it, because I wanted to get it all out, and then I didn't have to constantly change colours in the airbrush, as I realised I had missed a bit. I haven't got
Looking good.
yeah, I think we're still getting a bit of feedback on our channel here, Fox. I haven't got my speakers on. I'm on
Have you not? I've got mine on really low, so I'm actually struggling to hear you, to be honest. Let me turn them down even more.
it's feeding back somewhere.
Huh. Are we getting like an echo or something?
It's muted on it's muted on YouTube. I must apologise, folks. I can hear it myself now. I can hear it back, coming back from somewhere.
I'm not getting any echo at this end.
1, 2. I just no. I can't find where it's coming from. Let me shut this down. Give us a moment, folks. I'll try and sort it.
Odd.
Hello, is it still going? It's still there.
Okay, I'm just changing some stuff at my end.
Go back into there. Go back into there.
Okay, I've just changed some stuff here. Has it made any difference?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I think I could still hear it there. Speakers. I'll turn the sound speakers off.
Am I coming through loud and clear?
Hello.
I can hear you.
Can you hear
me? We killed it.
I think it's gone now. I've turned the speakers off, system sounds off, and everything.
Okay.
TK said it sounds like something on the sound card. We'll try that. We'll try and bear with it, and we'll keep twiddling things as we go along.
Yeah.
Oh well, keep going. That's it. We got it. TK thinks we've got it.
Oh, cool. I might have had my speakers set wrong on the Hangout, but never mind, moving on.
Yeah, all my sound output this side is it's all turned off, and I've got TK said it's gone now. I've just got my earbuds in. It's one of them technical nights, so I've got heaven knows.
It all makes for a fun experience.
Yeah, mic volume too high. Right. We'll keep going.
So yes, your U-boat, Ted, is looking rather spectacular. I have to say, when you showed that bit of the officer's cabin area, which I'd not seen before, bearing this in mind, you can tell you've watched too much Das Boat, because I thought that's the radio room.
I was chatting to TK in Morse code the other day, and I found some superb sounds that will go with the next video.
I saw your Morse code conversation. It broke my brain.
Yeah,
I think it broke Will as well, but there you go.
So it's gone, and also this model has gone from the huge bits to the little tiny bits.
Die Puppen rummenparten, ja.
The Fahrtenbox.
The Fahrtengefahrten.
Right, so that's going in there, and I've got a special little man.
Now the important question, Ted, is how exactly are you going to recreate that porcelain look with the most important part of the kit?
Yeah. We'll find out. But I've got a little man to sit on it. If I don't paint it right, he's sitting on it. Right. Question time. Should we go through some questions?
Yeah, I think we should.
Let's fire my iPad up. Which
is that pink velour?
It's Skylar's.
Oh right. Is it real velour?
It's all furry. Right. Alan Kelly sent me a question. I have answered Alan, and he said he's probably going to be with us tonight. So if you are with us, Alan,
hello.
Ant asks, is the Boom Hut a ghost town at the moment? Yes, they're all over here watching us. There's drift, tumbleweed blowing down the Boom Hut.
I do wind noises, but they wouldn't come out on the microphone, I don't think.
Right, Alan Kelly says, hi Ted, I just want to ask you about pre-shading, and it's aircraft related, but that's not a problem. We won't judge you on that.
No.
He's
all right.
building a 148 Tomcat, and he's seen some amazing paintwork that is pre-shading done and added some real depth. Any tips or advice, please? Well, I said it all. I'd answered Alan, and I'd said to him right at the start, it's pre-shading's probably best done with an airbrush, and it goes in a number of stages. It starts with the pre-shading, doing your panel lines, then your base coat goes on, not being careful not to cover your pre-shading, and then as you progress from that, you can go a step further and you can highlight the center of your panels, and then continue on again another stage, and you come to pin washes and panel line washes. And if another stage to go even further, if you want to keep going, is filters. Alan is with us. Right. So I hope that was something that you understood, Alan. But filters and that, you can. I could do a demonstration on filters on the video or on a video, but filters being filters, what they are, it wouldn't really come across to see the effect that they give on a video. You really need to sort of try them out yourself. I've one or two that I did use on the Panzer tank, and I think I used them on the Oshkosh here as well. I can't remember actually. But they come in. You can buy them ready-made. You can make your own. A filter is a step further than a panel line wash. It's even more diluted.
It's super thin, isn't it? It's like the thin.
Yeah, it's really super thin. And I found that when I did them with the tank, that they actually work better by putting them on with an airbrush. You can paint them on with a paint stick, and they do work, but they'll alter the colour very subtly.
It's like a really subtle tint, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah. I tried to explain to Alan in the email that it doesn't actually alter the colour; it just alters the hue.
Yes.
Is that the right word?
Yeah. Well, it depends on the way to think of filters is. It's actually really hard to think of filters to explain it in words of any language. It's like how's the best way to explain it? It's one of those questions that you kind of know but you can't put into words. Like, for example, this part here, this Zaku leg, it's green, but I might use, say, a very light brown filter on this. Ammo do one, I think it's a filter for DAC, which is, African camouflage. I believe that's DAC is Desert African Camouflage, I think, isn't it? DAK, DAC? I can't remember. Anyway.
Deutschland Afrika Corps.
DAC camouflage. I knew it was something to do with Germany and Africa. But it's like a brown filter, and it's essentially like 99% thinner with a hint of a dark brown paint. And what you do is, like where you apply a wash, if you get a wash, say a thin panel line wash, you'd slap it all over, and it would run into the recesses. If you were doing it an overall wash, you'd slap it on, it'd run all over. If you're doing a filter, though, the trick is to put it on, but not so much that it runs anywhere. You probably tend to use a big brush, so let's see if I can find a decent brush. So, for example, a filter, I might use a brush this size, and I dip it in, get most of it off on the side of the bottle, and then just run it along. And the trick is not to have enough filter that runs along the surface and you get is moved around by gravity, because that's not what you want at all. It's just a thin enough coat so it tints. So if I was to do this with, say, a brown filter, it would just warm it up ever so slightly. And what it also does is it kind of helps everything blend together. Where you've got, say, different panel colours, it helps give them a blend because they have the same kind of filter on top. It's the same kind of effect if you do lots of dots of oil paint. You call them dot filters. People will put loads of dots of various colours on the surface of a model and get some thinner on the brush and just brush it up and down. And that's the same thing. It just takes that small amount of paint and spreads it around to give everything a uniform overall tint, which just kind of binds everything together, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's one of my long-winded explanations again.
Yeah, as I said, there's loads of information out there on the tubes. and it's really a difficult. Filters are a difficult thing to explain and show without actually seeing it and experiencing it yourself.
You kind of have to do it, don't you? And then you understand exactly what the point of a filter is.
Yeah, on a grey filter, it depends what you want to do. A grey paint, you could use a blue. It would raise that colour. It would. I know exactly what you mean, Fox. By you know what you want to say, but how do you say it?
Yeah, it's literally think of. Imagine you've got your lamp that you're working under now, the lamp that's on your desk here. It's white light. If I take a blue filter, like a piece of clear blue plastic, and put it over that, the white light becomes tinted with blue. Same with a filter in terms of paint. You're taking whatever's under the filter and you're applying a layer of colour which is super transparent. That's what a filter is. And it's just changing the tint of that. So it's like placing a coloured filter over a lamp. That's why it's called a filter. But it's not like a wash because you don't want it to flow everywhere. It's just a colour touch. And you can do different filters. Greens often work with browns. Greys often work with blues and browns. But a filter can be any colour. And you can make your own just by super thinning a paint to mostly thinner.
Yeah. I've actually got a blue filter for grey. So blue is a good colour for it. And
I've got one here. I think I've got. That's a wash. That's no use. I've got a few filters in my pile somewhere. I can't. Unfortunately, there's typical. I can't find them. They're all like browns for whites. I've got Ammo do one that's called brown for white, and it's actually a very light brown filter for white, and it's perfect. It makes it look ever so slightly grubby, but not much.
Right, I'm just going to try. Chris Walters has just come in and said he can find can hear an echo again. So I'm just trying to alter a few things.
Okay.
Panel Plain Boy, what panel accent do you recommend? What do you mean? Sort of for doing your panel line washes? Is that what you mean? Something like that? I would always advise against if you're not talking about panel line washes. I would always advise against black. Black seems a little bit too stark.
Yeah, black's not the best idea.
Yeah. So it depends what you're going over. So maybe Playboy, if you can let us know what sort of what conditions you're applying that in, and we might be able to help you there.
If he's looking at panel lining, whatever his model is, we may as well answer it. I mean, if we assume for a minute he's looking at panel lines, then there's a few different ways of doing it. You can do the good old-fashioned gunk wash, which I do, which is where you slather the whole piece in oil paint and then rub it all off. But that has the habit of tinting the whole rest of the model. Most model builders will tend to use enamel or oil paint washes, and that's just literally either thinned enamel or oil paint, or you can get panel line washes that you just literally, because I'm about to do that on this, that's what you just pop them into the panel lines and go. The reason a lot of people use enamels and oils is because they sit there for hours and you can still rub them off and clean them up. I wouldn't try doing it with acrylic paints because there's no way of cleaning it up.
As I've been doing some flesh painting with acrylics on my U-boat crew, and I must admit that they are a bit of a pain to work with because they dry too quickly. So
you've had great fun painting those figures, haven't you, Ted?
Yeah,
you've enjoyed every moment.
This guy here started off. I had painted him once, but he went into the bag of oven cleaner and decided to start again because it didn't work out quite right. But there is one who looks a little bit better. You see him; he's a little bit out of focus. In fact, the further away he gets, the better he looks. But I think I've got it cracked, and we've come up with it. You and TK have come up with a great idea, which I think I'm actually going to take you up on it. TK says the echo has come back.
Has it?
I don't have any sound.
Let me just rescue this decal that I've just dropped, and then I'll see if I can sort something at my end.
Right. Yeah,
something worse than dropping a decal.
Yeah, as Art Boy says, with a gut wash, you get a free filter thrown in, which is quite right, really. Yeah, if you look at it that way, it does.
I mean, there's different ways of doing it, but it is recommended to do things like enamels and oil paints, just purely because you can mess with them and clean them up really easily. Um, the whole point of a paddle line wash is you want to be able to go in super messy, but then go and tidy up your work later. And if you use an acrylic or an oil, that's just not going to happen. I mean, if you use acrylic or something like that, it's just not going to happen. So, yeah, stick to. A lot of people will. The other thing, of course, is you do a gloss varnish first.
Yeah. Protect everything with a gloss varnish.
Yeah. Plus, it'll flow better if you do a gloss varnish. Ooh, I've just done a decal live on telly. There you go.
Oh.
What was I going to say? Oh, yes, something I meant to show last time, and I totally didn't show on the thing of your figure. I painted me. This is going towards my transit, but I don't know if this will come out. But there's 1/24th scale me. And while Ted was painting his figures and having an absolute nightmare, I was also painting this and having an absolute nightmare. I suck at painting figures. So yeah, I feel your pain on those figures, Ted.
Yeah, I think once I've got through the first couple, because they've got lots of skin because they haven't got the top on, they're without a shirt or they're in just a vest, so there's lots more skin. So hopefully once we get onto the rest of the figures where it's just hands and a face, things will speed up a little bit because the clothing will go quite easily.
Well, I actually tried the. I tried to be clever, and I thought what I'll try doing is the miniature, tabletop miniature painting style. Whereas traditionally us model makers will do oil paints and blending and things like that, but the miniature is you just all paint it as slightly wet paint and you make all the creases and fall. I tried doing that and just sucked.
Yeah.
So me and tabletop miniature painting, not that great.
I don't think I'll be going down that. TK said the sound is okay now, so I think it's probably just something that a Google glitch tonight. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Right, next question. Going back to really just about what we spoke about, it's from James. I'll find his message. It's about retarders.
The TARDIS?
Retarding paint. I've lost the question. He asks if retarders can be used with Tamiya and Model Master paints. I think that retarders can be used with most acrylic paints, but probably I wouldn't go down the line of putting retarders in with Tamiya, because I think Tamiya are a different makeup of acrylics. However, they do have their own Tamiya retarders. So if you want to use retarders in your airbrush or even brush painting, have a look at their own Tamiya retarders.
Yeah, Tamiya are odd ones because they're labelled as acrylics, but they're actually alcohol based, not water based, like so many others. And they typically have their own, like you say, thinners and other things. So it might work with Tamiya, but I don't know.
Yeah. The original question was: is it okay to use retarders with Tamiya and Model Masters acrylic paints? And would any clear retarder work? Yeah, there's lots of retarders out there, and I think most of them would work with most paints. But as Fox and I have just said, probably for the Tamiya ones, I would go with the Tamiya's own, just to make sure. You can always have a try with it on something separate, see if it splits or anything like that.
Yeah, I assume that's because he's airbrushing if he wants a retarder.
Yeah, I have heard of people actually using a drop at a time when they're brush painting. Now, whether that works or not, I haven't tried it myself. Maybe I'll try some on these figures just to try some blending and such. Right, Scruffy Pup. I know Scruffy Pup's in tonight as well.
Mm-hmm. Just before you ask that question, Ted, if I may interrupt, I've just noticed something. Just so people know, I'm using third-party water slide decals to replace the stickers that come with this model. And I've just noticed to my amusement that the guy that's designed the water slide decals has completely changed. For no apparent reason, the stickers say, on these stickers say £200, £290 and £300. And the guy that's done the water slides has said, no, I'm going to put £260, £200 and £350. I love when they change things for no reason whatsoever. Sorry, carry on. So which one do I use now?
Right, Orc Boys, and he answered the last question. If you're brush painting Tamiya, they go better with Vieiro retarders. So there you are. I try that. Vieiro retarders work with Tamiya.
Okay, that's
thanks,
cool.
all. Yeah. Question from Scruffy Pup. Tank tracks. Ooh. What type of tank tracks do I prefer, or do we prefer? Metal, plastic, or rubber? What are the merits and disadvantages of different types? And is there any preferred manufacturer of the various types you personally like?
I'll leave this one to you because the last tracks I did were on a Tamiya, and that was 15 years ago, and it was just the rubber track. So
I remember every tank you ever got was those rubber band, black rubber band, stretchy, horrible things that you never could never fit to your tank, and you could never glue them together, because nothing would ever stick them.
I didn't mind the Tamiya ones; they were all right. You used to get like a hot screwdriver over a flame and just melt them together, melt the two little nubs.
And then you just melt the whole track, and then it would just all fall apart. The two tanks that I have up here are standard Tamiya rubber band type tracks, and they are quite good. They've come a long way since the 1/72nd scale airfix type thing, the tanks that you always did when you were a kid. They hold paint quite well. You can weather them up. Nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with them. You can put them on. Fix them with a staple gun and hide the staple at the top of the bottom underneath the wheel.
That's one of those simple, obvious tricks, isn't it, using a stapler? It's one of those things that's so simple you'd never think of it, but it is really simple and dead easy.
Yeah, and it works. It'll stay there forever.
Yeah.
The plastic linkable tracks are good, very good. The steel tracks, for the life of me, the name has just slipped my mind of the manufacturer of those tracks at the moment. Somebody will remind me. But yeah, they're good. They give quite a realistic look. They give that authentic sag over the wheels. You can burnish them down using burnishing fluids. I do lots with them, but really I don't have a favourite. I just tend to go with what's in the kit. If they really are rubbish, I'll go out and buy some second-hand one, aftermarket ones, but I've never really had the opportunity to do that yet. Frual tracks.
Didn't we see someone earlier today who posted up and they had some tracks for their tank, and it was like 1,280 parts just in the tracks, and they're all metal?
Yeah, I did see something like that.
I can't remember who it was, and it was like, that's 300 more parts than Fine-Mold's Millennium Falcon. That's ridiculous. That's just the tracks. That was insane.
Yeah. And he also goes on, there's a second part to his question. In addition, what items would I favour when building a military model? Jerry cans, spare wheels, tracks, figures, etc. I just put on, making models, frill tanks, frill model tank tracks, that's them. Accessories on tanks, whatever you feel like putting on. A few jerry cans never go amiss.
Oh, jerry cans.
Jerry cans. Jerry cans never go amiss. Bit of luggage. If it's a modern British, if it's a modern or Cold War British armour, they talk about the yellow packs. I think they were yellow packs, which is just boxes of German beer. They used to be quite favourite for around the tanks. But generally, tarpaulins. Tarpaulins are always good for hiding stuff. You could make shapes and things up, cover it with a tarpaulin, and it looks like lots and lots of stowage. So just go with whatever you feel looks right. Going back to the chat, I try to keep up with the chat and talk as well. Raging Bassett says, How can we make dents in tanks?
How can you make what?
How do we make dents and bashes in tanks?
All right.
Yeah, gouging, scraping, heat.
If you, it depends on the kind of place you want to do it. Often it's I've done this decal wrong around now. Sorry. Often it's just heat and some kind of warming something up to. If you want to make a soft dent in a surface, like something's pinged off a panel and bent it in a little bit, you can use things like heat. Often works. If you're wanting to, it depends on the kind of ding you want. I think basically. If you're wanting to do like an impact type thing, that's often just a Dremel, but you use the round ball end. Sorry, I'm just having to improvise because I picked out the wrong decal on the wrong place, and it's all gone wrong then.
Yeah, probably can't decal and chat at the same time. It's probably a bad idea.
It's just all gone horribly wrong. Yeah, so if you're looking at like an impact kind of dent, like something's pinned off your armour really heavily, that's where a little sort of Dremel type tool comes in handy.
Yeah, a Dremel, it could even heat up the end of a, try to think, your pliers or something like that, and just put a dent in it. And then it's down to the painting as well. Once you put the dent in it, it's a matter of making the dent look like it's a dent. Maybe a bit of metal showing through, or rusted metal, a bit of battle damage on the paintwork or something like that. It depends where and when. I think we spoke about this last week on about thinning the metal down and bending it with a bit of heat, just to make it look like some of your panels on the tank have been bent.
It is easier if you're working with metal panels rather than plastic.
Yeah.
If your sheet of armour is actually made of metal, you can do a lot more to it. Even to the point of getting small round tools and denting it with a small rounded mallet type thing. But that's if you're working with sheet metal. Plastic's always a bit more challenging.
Right. Right. Scruffy Pup did have another question for us.
Yay.
I can't find it. Right. I can't find the messages now.
It's always all gone wrong.
I can't find it. I can't work Skylar's iPad. Right, let's have a look through the chat. See who's with us this evening. And
the chat will give us good, meaningful questions.
Yeah. Why is he NHS?
He says with a question mark on the end of the sentence.
Has Fox found a big enough waffle holder for his coffee cup? No.
Well, I've got my coffee cup. Haha.
That's a
coffee cup of enormousness.
Cup.
I don't think there's a Stroop waffle big enough to not just fall straight into that. I have to lift my visor up when I want to take a swig. Oh. I've got my magnifying visor on, so I have to lift that up when I want to take a swig of coffee. It's not a good state of affairs.
Making models. Carl said he got to use his Starship filtered anger tonight.
Yes.
Gunt washing snow speeder. Yeah, happy new gunt wash. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yes. You can't beat a good bit of filth. Starship filth.
Starship.
Ted, I'm never going to do decals on a live stream again.
Never do decals on a live stream. Never do any building on a live stream.
No, I'll do anything else, but doing decals is probably the worst possible idea on a live stream. I'll finish this one and then I'll stop, because you can't do decals on a live stream when you're talking and do things.
Going back to the toilet, Ron Max says, how have I got to recreate the stains in the toilet? Yeah, well, you won't be able to see that because that guy's going to sit on it. You think on a submarine when it's all men, did they put the toilet seat down when they finished, or did they just leave it up?
Actually, I've got a question for you on that, Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to reproduce, like they have in Das Boat, the little light above the toillet? They painted over it with red and then they drew a bottom on it. Do you remember? Are you going to reproduce that Das Boat moment?
And speaking of lights, people keep asking me about lights for the submarine. I have been in conversation with Jennifer, my light making wizard this week, and we have in the pipeline some lights that can be switched from red to white at a flick of a switch. So none of this putting two sets of lights in these days. So hopefully it might be in time for the next video. I'll be able to show you what they're like.
Have you figured out how you're going to... Because you showed on that last video, you showed where they've moulded in the ceiling lights, or the over deck, or whatever you called it, because it's not the ceiling, is it? They'd moulded those in, and you'd also had some handy bits on the back where you could draw them out. Now you've already built that torpedo room, so how are you going to get... Are you going to just have to put little lights in elsewhere, or are you going to be cunning around that?
Well, apparently the lights themselves are only 2mm. Really, really tiny. So once they come, I'll be able to sort of have a physical look at them. It might be that I'll leave the fittings in and just drill behind them, just so that it sort of hides the LED from view. But when they're on, it'll look like the actual lighting. But it's just a matter of just having to wait till I get them in my hand and have a look and see what they are.
I will have to take the plunge and do lighting one day. It's just I haven't got the nerve or technical skill to do lighting, and I know I haven't. It's like, you know, I have my big D'Agostino Millennium Falcon that comes with lighting, and I have no choice. And I've got this thing that's got a light in it, so I had to do the wiring, but you know, it's in there. But I've not got a battery to put in it, so I can't guarantee it works. But me and lighting is like, I really would. I would give myself an electric shock just wiring
model lighting. You've got to think that the only voltage you're working with is at most a 9-volt battery. It can go down as low as a 3-volt coin cell battery, which is what's in the Oshkosh. Just a 3-volt, won't blow anything up, won't set fire to anything.
Well, just for reference, I'm the guy that plugged his 110-volt American compressor into the mains and wondered why it was really, really loud and got very hot and started smoking. And then I thought, I better get a voltage converter, hadn't I? Oh no, I got one now, and I've got this brilliant compressor now. I've actually, just so, because people might not know, but the people that do know, plucky little compressor that I've used for many years has now been retired. My little, it doesn't change the pressure or anything, has been retired now. He's going off to a special farm. So I've got a real compressor now. And for the first time today, I actually did, I tried airbrushing some pledge at 15 psi, which I've never been able to do before. Look at that. How good is that?
That's cracking.
I can now do the pledge glossy stuff at 15 psi and actually get a proper shiny surface. Yes.
Can you perhaps explain to us armour modelers what that is?
What, the pledge?
No, the blue thing.
Oh, the blue thing. That is the shoulder pauldron off my Zaku, which is going to be a different colour to the Zaku. It goes on the arm. Which one's it go on? Sits on the arm like... Just take it off.
Well, I say us armour modelers, I mean me in particular, because I haven't a clue.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, for those of you who come in from eModels or from across from my Facebook page, we have another Facebook page where all we talk about is Zakus and Gumplers and Star Wars.
And poor Ted is like, what?
I haven't got a clue.
It's one of them, Ted. Is that a bit on his shoulder there? That's the dude. That's a bit on his shoulder.
Now it becomes clear.
Yes, now it's clear as mud. But yes, I've actually finally been able to. I can now. Although I've been doing this for years, I've never actually had a variable pressure compressor, so now I can finally vary the pressure. So spraying that little bit of gloss varnish today at not probably 40 psi, whatever my plucky little compressor put out before, because I've got no idea. Oh, it's a joy. It's a joy to be able to spray things at the right pressures.
TK says to Fox, check your Facebook messages. Right, here's one from Carl. The silly question, why do they call orange jam marmalade?
Because of the reasons.
Because why do they call orange jam marmalade?
Why? Is it not related to a place? Oh, TK sent me a picture of a stroke waffle that's as big as a house. And I'm really sad now. Because I'm sad because I'm happy because it exists, but I'm sad because I don't have one.
Sugar.
And yours is it falling in your tea?
It fell through the waffle holder into the tea.
That'll learn you for being cocky, you see. Yeah.
Yeah, orange jam. Right. Yeah, why can't you buy orange jam?
I don't know. It's probably related to a place. It's probably. I'm not going to look it up because that'd be the easiest thing to do. So what I'll do is I'll actually make up some convoluted reason, which is much more fun. It's probably to do with the person that invented it or the place it was invented or something. Because it usually is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like the sandwich was invented by the Earl of Sandwich, allegedly.
The Earl of Marmalade.
Yeah, so maybe Marmalade is a place somewhere. Did you know, though, apparently there was no word for the colour orange until Bob, whatever his name was, named the orange, and therefore it became the name of the colour orange.
Did you know that no other word rhymes with orange? Yeah.
The whole podcast just stops now because somebody's just sat there going, wait a minute.
Right.
That was the podcast. It was great till about 45 minutes and it just stopped.
Back to the submarine bill. Alan Kelly said the toilet seat was fixed down. Interesting. But the toilet seat might be fixed down, but what about the lid?
Yeah.
Did they put the lid down? Or did a woman come aboard on a visit every time they went into port, a woman came on and put it down?
I think that's one of those conversations you might have to just step away from quietly.
Yeah. And Scruffy Pup says, am I going to make a chap on the toilet a pair of trousers round his ankles? Yes. I will find a way and I will represent some trousers round his ankles and him reading a book of some kind, perhaps.
A copy of Mein Kampf.
Yeah, a large copy of Mein Kampf. And maybe a queue outside the door.
I think you should at some point somehow have a think about putting some kind of Easter egg in this U-boat somewhere. I don't know what the Easter egg would be, but some kind of Easter egg.
Yeah.
That only you and everybody on the internet who watches the video bill will know about.
Could have some special part. Yeah.
Like if it was me, I'd do like I'd have to find like a 1/48 scale food blender and write Mr. Fusion on it and put it in there somewhere, just because nobody would see it, but people knew it was there. It's like a Back to the Future reference.
Yeah.
Something that nobody'd ever see, or Lotus, until somebody pointed it out.
Well, this little guy here has a tattoo of Churchill on his back.
Ah, there you go. Then done.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. So only e-modelers and YouTubers and people of the live stream chat would know about it. Yeah. And when they saw it at Telford, they could show all their friends.
Yeah. Whenever I make a model, I always like to sign it somewhere that nobody's ever going to see.
I do exactly the same.
I always do a little drawing, and then it's sealed up forever. Then.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that on every model I have. It's got a signature of me in there somewhere. Never ever see it. Never ever prove that it was mine. But it's in there.
There's an owl outside my window shouting at me. I can hear it.
Foxy, Crazy Major says, did you say 15 or 50 PSI for pledge?
15, 1.5. Because my old compressor had no variable pressure, and I never got round to buying a little hand thing, so it probably put out about 35 to 40 psi. I'm guessing. I don't actually know what it put out, but now I can do it at about, apparently between sort of 12 to 15 psi is good for pledge and for future and clear. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. And I tried it, and it gave me this lovely, nice, glossy finish. Because compare that, which was done at my old compressor, which is God knows what pressure, to that which I did this evening, which is much, I'm not really doing this very well, am I? Is much more glossier and smoother, I think, than that. And this was paint that was airbrushed on. This was paint that was stippled on, unthinned, or very lightly thinned. So that was really rough paint texture that now looks really smooth. And that was airbrush paint that now looks a bit shiny. So Yeah, 15 psi seems to be quite good for pledge.
And how many coats?
I do one very light mist coat. I blast it with some air, then I spray on a thick coat, blast it with some air for about 10 or 15 seconds, and then spray on another thick coat. And that seems to work. I never quite know if you're supposed to let the first thick coat fully dry and then go for another thick coat, or whether you're supposed to do the first thick coat and then let it air dry it, just air from the gun, and then... So I must do a test at some point, but I don't have any test pigs lying around to play with, so all my experiments are done on live volunteers, unfortunately.
Carl has come up with the answer for the marmalade, which he asked himself. Originally, it was made in Portugal from a bitter green fruit called quince. The quince was cooked with honey to make a sweet paste. Slices of the paste were served at desserts. The Portuguese word for quince was marmelo. And the
Okay.
sweet preserve was called marmalada, if that's
Okay.
Portuguese enough. Right.
I like orange
Right.
jam, personally. It's a lot easier.
Orange jam. Yeah. So Crazy Cool Major. Crazy Major says that's cool. Obviously, he cleared up that question for him. It was 50%. Was a bit high. Yeah, that would have blown your model across the other side of the room.
Yes, I think it was probably about 25 to 30 psi. I think my old little compressor. I just couldn't change it.
Scruffy Pup says, don't forget the toilet roll. No, that is going in there as well. There is a roll actually provided in the kit of toilet roll for the toilet. Sergeant
148 scale toilet roll.
48 scale toilet roll. I can't.
The first and last time you'll ever paint one of those.
There's even all the detail in this kit. Even a sink with a tap.
Cool.
My camera won't focus that close. But,
Do you get any supplies for the kitchen, like bottles and tins and things?
No, unfortunately not. They're all going to have to be sourced. So I'll be putting some food crates, plates, teapots. I imagine that's street waffle still in the
Somebody will
bottom.
do 148 scale bottles and tins and things.
Yeah. Bratwurst German sausages.
Sausages. There's always a big bendy sausage that you'll need.
Yeah, they'll all be hanging around. Yeah, I've got loads of work to do on this, and pictures of the loved ones and sweetheart on the wall, and pictures like that. Right, where are we up to? Unfortunately, folks, there isn't any giveaway this week.
Oh.
We'll save that until next time. Keep you all coming back, and we'll see what we can arrange with Peter for next week.
Yes.
I've gone through all my questions.
I had no questions, unfortunately. I'm trying to think of any that
I've
I've
been
asked.
a little bit busy today as well, so I haven't had a chance to pick everything up. So I'll work out some questions as well. And looking at the time, we've almost been on an hour as well. So it's your last chance, folks. If you do have any questions, burning questions out there that you'd like to ask me or the Gumpler man himself, please do ask.
While we're waiting for content, I'll see if I can show you these. Just as an example, if we may complain about decals we get, but I got these third-party decals from somewhere, I don't know who it was. Fortunately, I don't know who it was. But I wanted to show you, and I don't know if it'll come out on camera, but I wanted to show you. Let me change my screen so I can see what you guys are actually seeing from me.
That's it.
Oh, hang on. If you can actually see here, it might not come out, but these decals have the worst registration I have ever seen in my entire life. You've got, okay, imagine this one here. You've got a white wolf's head with a grey outline that doesn't quite line up. And then the green bit doesn't line up with the outline, and the red bit there is supposed to be there. And this whole sheet of decals is just completely, absolutely useless because all the registration is out. I just thought I'd show you that as an amusing little aside. You complain about some of the decals you get from official kits. That's not even from an official kit, that's a third party. And it's like, some of them kind of work though, bizarrely, even though they're out of registration. Some of them kind of work, so they're not too bad.
So are you going to have to replace them all, or are you going to work through it?
Well, luckily 99% of them are completely made up and not relevant to anything, so they're just fun little... The one set I've got here are like reproductions of the kit stickers. That one was just like an extra one I got of randoms. All the ones that are one colour, they're fine, but I should read you this as well. I should read you this. You know, like you get on model kits, you get like warning signs and things that say, you know, it might be the pilot's name on the side of a vehicle or something like that. Tell me if you can figure out what this is meant to say. It says, this one here, I'm going to read it out to the audience. It says 280mm bazooka. An explosive charge set marginal because of for avoid excessive use of controls, especially Alderonso's MS control is marginal because of ready. And I love that kind of like, not English isn't their first language, but we'll make up some kind of stuff that looks like complicated warning decals. But when you blow it up to a really big size, it just kind of makes really amusing babble. I love that though. I love having these kind of random things on models because it's made up.
Yeah,
Helps me embrace the fun of these things.
it's like when you buy some furniture, by putting the top to the bottom. It's empty, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, like pleased to be inserting slot A into tab B for happiness and things like that.
Anyway,
We had any more questions?
Any more questions? Last chance before we call time. No, nothing's coming through. I think everybody. Well, we've run out. Run our. How can you say that? TK says, is there any chance of an aeroplane prize instead of the armour things? Good point. I shall put that forward to the management, and we'll discuss it at the next briefing. Yeah, but good points. But anyway, an hour has gone quickly as that. We've run out of things. Klaus has a question.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yeah, Klaus Flugel Schwanz. I apologise if that name is wrong. Klaus. Yeah, we've had quite a number of people viewing tonight, Fox. I think.
How many have we had? Have we had millions?
Yeah. Yeah, enough. Why is there no Tiger one with a full interior in 1/16 scale? Says Klaus. I don't know. I don't know if there is.
Is the Tiger? Is that like one of the? Is it not one of the most popular tanks? I know the Tiger 4 is one of the most popular Tigers.
I suppose we could say the same thing about a lot of a lot of tanks. Why is there not a full interior with a lot of tanks? I'm sure lots of people do like to build interiors. I built interiors on the last one, and then you don't see any of it unless you take it all apart again. Maybe one to keep writing to the manufacturers about, write to Tamiya or to TACOM or Ryfield models, and suggest it to them.
Maybe it's just. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe that it's like any manufacturer; they have to go off what they think they're going to sell, and maybe the Tiger 1 just isn't as popular as say the 4. So they know they can do certain tanks with interiors because people will buy it, but maybe with the 1 they think, yeah, there's no point in spending all the money making the interior as well when we're not going to sell that many of them. Probably, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just down to simple popularity.
Yeah, I think it's commercial. It's what makes the money. What makes what fetches the books in with least outlet. So yeah.
Or maybe there's no access to Tiger 1 interiors anymore. I'm sure there is.
Somewhere. Well, maybe write to the manufacturers, pester them, ask them why. But people power, it does work. Anyway, it's an hour's gone. It's time for us to go off and do other things. I'm going to try this evening to make a start on part 3 of the U-boat.
Yes.
We'll talk about the radio room and such. Look at some figure painting. So hopefully that's in part 3. And I'm sure that Fox is going to go off and continue with his Zaku.
I've got my transit as well. Well, I need to get some more filming of the transit done this week. Yeah. For the next episode. I'm trying to vary between doing this build for to e-models, and this bill for just me. So I'm trying to maybe do the Zachary at weekends and the transit during the week. So back onto the transit now from tonight or tomorrow.
I will make a point of watching that video maybe tonight when I'm reclining in bed watching.
Trust me, it's literally for this. It's literally about the last 5 minutes. Actually, no, the last 5 minutes is me doing my usual long sign off. Call it the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeff. Jeff Longman has just got here, and unfortunately, we're just wrapping up to leave. But don't worry, Jeff. In about 10 minutes' time, you can catch up on our wafflings as it becomes live on the eModels YouTube channel.
Well timed there, Jeff.
Yeah, it's just you'll just have to set off a little bit earlier next time, Jeff, and get here a little bit quicker.
You've just missed that whole hour of complete professional broadcast experience.
And remember, if you subscribe to the eModels YouTube channel, remember to click the little bell next to it, and you will get your notifications when videos and live streams are happening. You'll get a little email. It'll pop up on your phone or something telling you. So that's about it from me, from Ted at emodels.co.uk, and from the great Gunpla Master himself.
Who's messed up 3 decals while trying to talk at the same time. Not doing that again. Not much of a master at the moment. Not when I'm talking and working.
Ron Mack says, can we start the show an hour later? On that point, just before we go, we are trying to find a balance of what will work because we realise that people are coming in from all around the world. I think the chap that won the model last week was actually from South Korea. So we have people from all around the world. Maybe we'll do them at different times. I don't know. We'll try and find a balance that sort of gets the most people in and when they can see them. But as I just said, you can always catch these videos later on catch up when they become live on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we'll work on it.
Turning wheels, look.
Yeah, it's time for us to go. So look out for us again, and we'll let you know when the next live stream is up and running, probably next week. So we'll catch you all again. But thank you very much for dropping in. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for the chat. And we'll see you all again.
Yes,
so
hopefully I'll be a little less twitchy next week because I've been a week without smoking. So I've been a bit rubbish tonight because I've been all over the place. So
won't be dropping your decals all over the floor. Have you not started vaping or anything?
No, I just need to stop altogether. So it's complete cold turkey, which means so a bit of a wreck at the minute. If I've just jabbered on for the last hour, then I do apologise.
Right. So as the great Two Ronnie says, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Okay, good night everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm doing your thumb, Ted.
I'm doing a thumb, 2 thumbs. Bye now.